5 minutes you said, right, Mark? 5 minute meeting?
Well, my wife's prepared something for me to read on her behalf. That log lives. Do you want me? Pat. She's going to watch the recording.
This meeting will be real quick.
I'd like to hand something out.
Let's call this meeting to order. Clerk Treasurer, call the roll.
We have to stand.
Or no, let's call order for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pat, go ahead, start us off.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Councilperson Modesto.
Here.
Councilperson Clem.
Here.
Councilperson Williams.
Here.
Councilperson Gannon. Here. Councilperson Zilli. Here. Councilperson Lynch.
Here.
Councilperson Prisco.
Here. Minutes from June 5th.
Make motion to approve the minutes.
Second.
All those for say aye.
Aye.
Any nays, same sign. Sign passed. Resolutions, let's go to resolutions. Temporary loan authorization number 2.
Sorry. Okay.
Resolution 18-16, a resolution authorizing temporary interfund loans. Whereas the following temporary interfund loans are necessary for the purpose of maintaining cash operating balances in the funds herein named, now therefore be it resolved by the Common Council of the City of Portage, Indiana, that the clerk treasurer is hereby authorized to make the following temporary loans. Such loans to be secured by a pledge of revenues to be received, which are not otherwise allocated and to be repaid on or before December 31st of 2018, date 6/29/18, to wheel tax from surtax amount of $500,000, passed and adopted by the Common Council of the City of Portage, Porter County, Indiana, this 3rd day of July 2018. I'll make a motion to adopt.
Second.
These are, like we talked about last meeting, you're going to see them regularly now. It's part of the new state board requirement that we approve temp loans each month.
Okay.
Just to say, the mayor's not here, as everyone can see. He's with his wife and his children for a holiday with dad. So, and I am personally going to wish everybody a good 4th and be safe for the 4th. It's going to be a great day for Portage tomorrow, starting at noon. Is that when it starts? 11:30, and the fireworks. So just be safe.
Can I have a minute on that, Chairman, please?
Okay. Well, let's call the roll on that.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, I thought we did. Go ahead, call the roll.
Remember, Councilperson Modesto.
Yes.
Councilperson Clem.
Yes.
Councilperson Williams.
Yes.
Councilperson Gannon.
Yes.
Councilperson Zilli.
Yes.
Councilperson Lynch.
Yes.
Councilperson Prisco.
Okay. Anybody on the city council wants to speak? Go ahead.
If I may, Chairman. Ms. Langle, she had mentioned that if you'd come up to the mic, please. Over in her immediate neighborhood, there's been a major issue going on with fireworks outside the window times that the ordinance speaks of. And I encourage you to call 762-3122, which is our Portage Police Department. This is a very serious issue. A lot of those are illegal fireworks. They're not even supposed to be in the state of Indiana, let alone in the city of Portage. If they're harming you or you feel that it's inappropriate of your neighbors and for the sounds and noises at the time frames that they're doing it, please call Portage Police. They will come out.
I mean, I understand that, but I do know the police have more important things to take care of.
That's their job, though. It's regardless.
It's affecting our daily lives.
And well, sure. And your quality of life is very important to all of us. So quality of life is pretty far up there on my list.
So it's all right if
it
we
is.
don't have an exact address?
Now, if they're out front of their homes, most likely when they come up the street, they're going to see them anyways. But now if they're in, I would recommend you have an address. If they're in the backyard, behind a fence or something like that, fenced in yard, because they're going to need more of a location than that.
I had a question about the date time frame.
Sure.
Where does that come from?
Or city
allowed to do
ordinance.
this too?
City ordinance.
From the city ordinance.
For July 9th. Is there any way that could be shortened?
Well, it can be revisited.
So,
And
I'm pretty certain I know the reason it goes till July 9th
So for example, when the 4th falls like in the middle of the week on a Wednesday, some people do celebrate on Saturday. So I believe that's the reason why the window is till July 9th, is it gives that leeway to get to the weekend after the 4th, when the 4th falls in the middle of the week.
You know what though, but it is something, I mean, really, it should just be on the 4th. I mean, that's something that the city council ought to be looking at. Because, you know, to extend fireworks and the sound, to have the smoke in the air, having to breathe that, you can't sleep, you can't go to work. We ought to, Pat, why don't you revisit that ordinance?
Lango was saying it was two in the morning the other night, or yesterday, last night to 2 in the morning. That's a little bit absurd. See, that's.
I think we need to bring this to the ordinance committee and try to get
I do
this
too.
revised.
I asked
Pat, you're
President Clem, can these people be fined? I mean, I'm so fed up, I'm so exhausted.
If they
that
catch
I'm
them.
ready to sue these people.
Well, they can.
Councilperson Lynch was saying earlier today about the animals and the dogs, and my dogs in the past, I'll tell you what, it was a problem.
My dog won't even go outside.
You brought that up. You want to talk?
It's like an ordinance.
Some of the people in our neighborhood doing it, stat dogs.
And that's 7 times louder.
I don't know where this came, is it?
Chief.
Okay.
And my husband has a group of retirees he has breakfast with on a regular basis. And that was at Durban. And I was wondering, why can't we do something like that?
Yeah, I'll brush over. We're gonna be, I'm gonna be making a statement here in a little while, making a ordinance meeting, in July. So we'll present this and discussion with the committee.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely. Yes.
Thank you for your time. And what's your name again, Miss? Can you get your name and where you reside?
Leah Langel, 2305 Samples.
So looking at Hobart's, because it's right here in front of us, it looks like the days and hours are the same as ours. It's just they have a fine.
Yeah, a lot of them are.
I think we do have a fine.
I think it just goes with the typical ordinance violation.
Yeah, there's a fine schedule, I think first
Yeah.
one's $50.
Okay, 50, and then it gets
It
progressive.
is, yeah. There's a fine applied.
So would a police officer have to write them a ticket?
Yeah, get an ordinance violation ticket.
For the.
And ours, they can also confiscate
Or
the
code
fireworks.
enforcement.
Or code enforcement,
Either
yeah,
one.
true.
And,
Good luck with that.
we just hired a new, a part-time code enforcer.
It's all basics.
Well, they can be.
And again, Ms. Lango, please call law enforcement and have them.
The non-emergency number, 3122.
Okay, is there any other thing on this?
Yeah, I have something I'd like to read.
Okay,
That might-
I think we're done with the fireworks, but thank you, Miss, for coming.
Thank you very much.
So calling me
It's
Miss.
a concern all over the city.
Okay, go ahead,
Thank you.
Councilman.
This is something my wife prepared and asked me to read. She couldn't be here this evening. As she states here, she's watching our summer sun pitch in Chicago. So she asked me to read this. I want to be sure that the street and sanitation department and the utility services department receive thanks and recognition for what they do. Those who work in the respective offices are also to be commended because they handle behind the scenes activities that we don't usually see because they're not out in public, which includes getting out weekly reports to the people who need to have them. The Utilities Field Forces Department are all over the city checking sewer blockages caused by runoff water after a heavy rain. I know that Scott hasn't heard from one of our neighbors who always had concerns about the minor flooding on our street across from his house. A truck is there regularly, and I've seen them other places throughout the city as well. On a Sunday morning around 9:30, which was also happened to be Father's Day, Randy Reeder in this case, dispatched someone to make sure that the limb that was blocking the southbound traffic on Samuelson was cleared away quickly. This was located just north of the one-lane bridge. Anybody who travels that one-lane bridge, you can imagine the traffic problem that could have been created there. So traffic was backed up even more as people had to wait for northbound traffic to clear, and then they could proceed. Thanks to that person in particular, especially if you're a dad and had to leave your family for a bit. Last winter, they did an excellent job keeping the streets cleared. I know that there are some people who may have had to wait a bit, as we did, because it was important that the main roads were cleared first, especially those near the fire stations, so side streets had to be second. But the delay was not that long. It was always the same day. So again, kudos to the street department and the utilities personnel for their hard work. As I said about the police and fire departments last month, if the department heads can make decisions and the personnel are allowed to do their jobs without any micromanaging, the jobs will be completed in a timely fashion. So especially during the summer, and if it's hot, offer them some cold water if you can. I'm sure they would appreciate it. Thank you for that opportunity.
Oh, I'm sure you would like a cold beer too.
Yes.
I have something too.
Who's has something too?
Council President Prisco, I have something, can I have the floor? Mark.
What?
I have something too from one of my residents. In fact, I think he's here right now. Are you Mr. Tim?
I am, yes.
Would you like to come up and read your letter to the council? I think I just gave everyone a copy of it.
That's the short condensed version.
I got the one you emailed me.
Okay, that's the same letter. My name is Tim Zarnicki. I'm asking that the city of Portage adopt an ordinance stating that any item to be purchased, destroyed, taken away, sold, etc. by any department of Portage totaling $20,000 or more be put before the city council for review and public comment. The impetus for this proposal is the skate park at Woodland Park being torn down and the lack of due diligence done by the Parks Department and Superintendent Horsburn. I can elaborate if you would like it. I'd also like to propose that the City Council mandate that half of the fiscal 2019 Parks Department budget, up to $500,000, be used to build a new skate park at Woodland Park with a ribbon cutting ceremony to take place on Saturday, June 5th, 2019 at noon. Or best of all, if this is possible, I ask that the City Council take $500,000 originally earmarked for the Parks Department and build a skate park on the site of the former police station, thereby cutting out the Parks Department from the process entirely. That's it.
Hey, let me ask you a question. What's your name? Tim?
Tim Zarnicki.
Yeah, because there's a letter here.
Yeah, he just read that.
Yeah, but I don't know if you read
That's
this.
not the same one though. It's not the same one. I have.
So what is your true issue?
My true issue is that the skate park was torn down without any due diligence done, and I've been to the Parks Department meeting and asked, and the answers I got were, it was dangerous, and I asked, what does dangerous mean? Can you elaborate, please? Well, it just was dangerous. I asked on repeated occasions, did anybody, a carpenter, an inspector, anybody come out here and look at the structure of it? No, it was dangerous. It looked like crap. Okay, fine. And then another answer was, we didn't want to throw good money after bad. Great answer. Can you elaborate what the bad money was? Because, again, nobody took a look. They just looked at it and said, it looks like crap, totally. But the structure of it was still really good. And there was no, no due diligence.
It's obvious that you want a skate park, correct?
Absolutely.
Yeah, okay, is that true? Okay, I'm not done. So obviously you want a skate park, and you were upset that they tore it down.
Absolutely.
Okay. As far as what you're asking in this letter, say basically, I'm asking the town council that an ordinance be put in place stating to the effect that any item to be purchased, destroyed, taken away for $20,000. The city council doesn't vote on that. If it's purchased, there's another board that does that for claims. But I'm more than willing to share this with the mayor and to see what we can do with the parks to get another park going. And I think we're moving ahead. And
I think there is one in the works.
Okay, the issue also is location. When the skateboarders, the skateboarders are the ones that's gonna be using the park. They want Woodland Park. They do not want Countryside Park.
You said police department.
Or the police department, either location. They actually want Woodland Park. They told them at a park board meeting, they want Woodland Park. They want that park back because they have access to the playground area, they have access to bathrooms, they have access to other facilities.
I think Woodland Park's probably the best place to put it.
I do too.
Yeah, the old police department, that's right downtown. There's a lot of traffic through there, man.
That's beautiful, that's great. There's a parking lot, there's electricity for lights. I mean, it's a the perfect
You
location.
got residents backing up to that backyard.
Well, where they wanted to put it in Countryside Park, there's a lot of residents too, and they don't, he
But I'm
lives
saying,
he
but
lives
I'm
over
saying, there's a lot of traffic coming through that intersection near that area for kids to be walking. You see, someone's gonna get hit.
Ready to move?
That is a very unsafe location. I'm being honest, I'll not support that location.
I agree
It's
with
too-
you, I
it's
totally agree with
Too
you.
unsafe for the children.
I think it needs to
Can I
come
just make a final statement? Can I just make?
I'll support Woodland Park.
I think
I'll
it
just
needs
make
to
a
come.
final statement. The city is going ahead. We are gonna build another park. That's in the works. I just truly wish that the park board or whoever you talk to with the parks would have just been, more cordial about how come that got torn down. But, huh?
It's not a matter of being cordial. They were honest. They didn't do any due diligence.
Yeah.
And this thing is a very expensive piece of equipment, and it's gone.
But the parks, I know, but at the same token, my kids were boarders 20 years ago when that was built. And I spent my own personal time building that. And over the years, it was worn, and I'll be honest with you, it started getting worn. There was people getting injured. There were injuries out there. It was dilapidated. It's time for a new skateboard park, and we'll do our best to get that going. But thank you for your time, and I appreciate it. I will pass this on and follow up.
Is there still like no recourse for something like that? That's my whole thing. I mean, it's great that they're talking about building a brand new skate park. It's wonderful, and I hope it comes to be. I doubt it myself, but my whole.
You doubt what? That there won't be a skate park?
Yes, with the current parks board as it stands.
I think we're moving forward on that. We had a group here last month, and this is something we've been talking about. We're gonna do it. It's gonna happen.
I got surveys from 6 years ago talking about the same thing. Nothing's changed.
Well,
I mean, it's just, but again, my whole thing was that there was no due diligence done with the present skate park. We had a petition to refurbish it. That was.
I think it was past that, personally, my opinion. Like I said, that was 20 years old or better, going back in time if Steve was here, Nelson.
Something should have been put in place.
Something you should have been put in place 5 or 6 years ago.
Yes.
So.
And it was never done, and that, again, that falls back on the current park board and plus.
We'll work on that for you, okay? I appreciate your time. You will get us a park, a skateboard park.
Don't be frustrated, Tim, we hear you.
No,
we hear you. And I understand.
I'm with you, Tim.
Yeah. Is there anybody else that wants to speak for the public this evening?
Make a motion to adjourn.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those for say aye.
Aye.
All those